Hey Gemini, it is October 3rd. Mercury has officially gone direct. Woo woo. Sure, everyone is super happy about that. But big shout out to Geminis because you guys literally tore it up. All the views, I think there were like close to 800 views on the last weekly. Everyone rocks. So thank you, Geminis. You took the top spot. Really, really impressed. We're going to be doing some incentive readings for the top views, I guess, coming up in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. I just want to thank everyone for all their support. So that truly I cannot thank you enough. You guys really kick ass. For today's reading, we're going to be using the Archetypes deck by Kim Krans. Let's just dive right into your reading today. See what we have for this upcoming week. What are the messages for Gemini? What are the messages for Gemini? Gemini, first one we got, the Prayer. Next card we have is the Sustainer. Next card, the Eternal Child. The Nectar. I hope there's not a delay on this. I don't think that there is, but hopefully not. The Mask. The Lover. And let's pull some outcome cards for you, Gemini. We've got the Dead End. Next card is Gnosis. The Crone. And on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Vessel, Gemini. So interesting reading so far. Let me just give me a minute to tune in. Gemini, it looks like you've been going within recently. Looks like you've been asking for help from the divine, or you've been praying a lot recently. Seems like you've had a lot of hope for the future too. It's quite possible that leading up to this point, Gemini, you've had a rough 6 months, year. And there are some questions that you've had on sustainability leading up to this point. Am I enough? Maybe asking that question too. Going back to childhood and some of the inner wounds that you've experienced on your journey to try to understand everything that you built up. I think you're looking at the foundations that you built along the way and how you've been able to sustain life despite having to heal some deep inner wounds within you and from the past. It could also be too you having to grow up a little bit. If there's been you've been kind of living in this state, it's quite possible that something has forced you out of your comfort zone recently and prove your sense of self-worth to not anyone else but to yourself. If you've been asking for strength too from the divine, praying, wanting to be more self-sustainable and less codependent on people, because maybe that's how you've been conditioned to be in the past. I think you're coming out of that. And you're realizing that there is so much more potential deep inside of you that is maturing. It's like at the core of your being, you possess so much opportunity within you to find personal fulfillment. And you're no longer reliant on other people as a pathway to your own personal success. I think you just know that everything that you need is already inside of you. Like, you've asked for clarity surrounding that, and realizing that you're a lot more powerful than you realize. You are a lot more sustainable. You don't really need anyone else in and around you to carry you through life in the way that maybe, again, you've been reliant on in the past, or it's just maybe even been that way. Like, not even necessarily saying you expected that or had that, but sometimes if you wanted to go within, questioning, am I worthy? Do I have everything I need to be self-sustainable, or can I do this on my own? If you've been alone and having to proceed on your life path in a way that's been less, again, dependent on others for clarity or sense of direction, you're realizing now that you have everything you need to proceed. Like, you are no longer reliant on other people in any other way. You've got it all, or it's at your fingertips, just waiting to manifest. And it's wholesome. Finally, it's like a full-blown maturity in the sense of self. The one thing that I think you are battling with, Gemini, is that it's quite possible that in the past you have been wearing a mask at times, being protective of who you are, because it's quite possible that along the way other people have wounded you. And when you've been vulnerable and exposing parts of you that are not weak, but it provides other people an opportunity to hurt you or just take advantage of you in ways that I don't think that you like. Like, you've noticed that if I show these parts of me, I'm more apt to get hurt or be taken advantage of. And that sense of strength is coming through now, where the mask that you have worn, I think you're wanting to get rid of that. Like, I don't think you want to wear a mask. I think you've just had to, unfortunately, in the past. Or you're realizing that you have been wearing a mask in the context of some of your relationships or the situations that you've been in, and you don't want to be that way, I think, anymore. I think you want to be authentic. You want to come forth and be true to yourself. You want to embrace this part of you that already exists, or is coming forth, that is a little bit outside the norm, because you understand that maybe you have to expose yourself a little bit more, or give yourself more, or just be a little bit more transparent with who you are in order to find fulfillment in yourself and in the situations around you. When you come to this realization, Gemini, that there's a duality, it's the twins, right? The irony, right, of it all. That's not to say you have to completely drop the mask, that you have to let go of that. You have to just completely be, here I am, this is me, and not protect yourself. But there's a way to be or live or act or engage with other people where there's a false mask that I think inhibits people from seeing the truth about who you are, which is so beautiful and radiant. But it's your protective self from the past that you built up as a form of protection that I don't think you're fully comfortable with people seeing all the way through to that, which is totally normal, right? Because it does make you vulnerable and susceptible to people taking advantage of you and hurting you. And when you are coming forth now in a way that's understanding, I can still be myself, I can still be true to who I am, I don't have to wear this false mask. People are still going to accept me, right? I am still self-sustainable. I'm not this wounded child from before, or I'm not as, people can't hurt me in the same way that maybe they can if I'm just drop the mask, right? In a different way. And I can still radiate this beauty inside and show who I am, and they're going to accept me. I think when you do that, either you're going to go through a period of self-love, like I love myself again. I love who this person is. I don't have to put on a front anymore. Or love could manifest in your life in a unique way that maybe you weren't prepared for. And it's going to be like so graceful. Like even you, I feel like strongly this is more like relating to self love. And you're going to see such a radiance and grace within who you are in a way that you're very appreciative of. Like, I don't think maybe you were as appreciative because you had to put up the mask to protect yourself. But when you let go of that and you just can be and stand in your own power, it's like the swan is so graceful and beautiful and innocent, and it just radiates. You just want to stare at the swan because it's like it's effortless, right? It like coasts across the water. It's like effortless. It doesn't even have to do much to exhibit grace and beauty and harmony and radiance. It just is, right? And it's a very powerful feminine energy too, that it is, the swan's not really protective. It's just, it knows its own state of grace too. It's just true self-love for who it is at the core. And you're dropping, I don't need to be accepted anymore. I just need to be who I am and understand that that is enough, right? That is so beautiful as is. When you do that too, you're going to see that in the outcome card, if you felt stagnant or held back, or as if a lot of things have led to dead ends, right? Some of your greater goals or ambitions or hopes and dreams have not come forth. That's coming to an end, a full end. And you're coming to a truth, a deeper knowing, an inner knowing that your connection with source, if you've been again praying very deeply or just trying to reconnect with who you are, and that has elevated your consciousness in a way that has brought forth more awareness, being present and engaged in the moment, as to I'm finally feeling free for once to be who I am and love every part of that, whether other people accept it or not. That is enough. That is so beautiful. This inner knowing comes forth that you have a deeper connection to the divine than maybe previously you thought, and that is real, right? It truly exists. It's not some myth or just something that people are like, oh yeah, I'm connected to the divine and blah blah blah. Like, you can feel it. You can feel the connection radiating inside of you because it's coming forth full blown, and you're like accepting that. And when you do that, Gemini, this crone is also to a, you're able to actually have compassion, I think, in a different way than you have been previously for other people, where some people might just like shove off, the bird, like it's in my way, it's, harboring my success. You're holding it. You're holding it in your hand because you maybe have transformed that darkness or that shadow self to your being in a way that now you can look at other people who still possess that and have compassion for them, empathy, uh, understanding that you hold the key to deeper truths in yourself that maybe was making you feel like this in the past, but you're about to let go, like release the bird, and knowing that that is not me anymore, right? It's almost like a mirror, like I'm looking at it now, who I used to be, and now I know the truth about who I am, and I can release this finally. I don't have to hold on to something that isn't, but I can still have compassion for other people, watching them live in their mask. And it's a different way of behaving and interacting, I think, with people that is really beautiful, because you're not like calling them out on that anymore. You're just like, you're aware of it, you know it, but you're not going to be fooled, right? It's true consciousness and awareness. What is your upcoming outcome card, Gemini? Awesome reading, right? By the way. For next week, the bridge just validates everything I've said today, I think. The interconnectedness of your hand with the divine. Now you're able to see in colors. You're able to connect the dots on your life journey in a way to understand, why have I been like this all along? When if I just love myself and I embrace myself, this is who I am now. And I love that about myself. I don't have to be this shadow self anymore. I just release that from my being. And it's gonna bring you so much beauty, harmony, manifestation. You're in a state of a very powerful energy that is no longer like this, Gemini. You are just bursting, ready to come forth. It's like true beauty inside of you that is, you're interconnected with the world around you. You are the alchemist. You are that inner child no longer exists because you have relinquished any past wounds inside of you, and you truly have moved into a state of grace and self-love that is quite radiant and harmonious with Mother Earth. All right, so that's all I have for you, Gemini. If you'd like a personal reading, check the description box below for my email. Shoot me a note. And as always, like, share, subscribe, put a comment in. Love hearing those as well. But thank you again for all your support. You guys kick ass. I love you, Geminis. You're amazing. And I hope you guys have a great upcoming week. All right. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.